All right, chat. So right here we have the worst NFL quarterbacks in every season of the 2000s. Guap said this nigga that made this video, he was it's a shitty ass quarterback that finished last in the NFL in 2001 that thought niggas forgot about him. And I'm here to say, nigga, we're about to unveil you. Cause nigga, I was 2. I didn't know about you, but I'm about to find out now, nigga.
Hey, nah, for real.
2000, the year 2000, whoever the first nigga going, I was 1. So I'm probably not gonna know none of the shitty quarterbacks until like real talk. I started watching football. Like it's funny. So Chad, I'm a Steelers fan. I've been a Steelers fan since I knew what football was. So when I first started liking the Steelers, I was their fan the year before we won a Super Bowl. So it would be what, 05? So I started watching football seriously at the age of 6.
Damn, God. Like, that's the first Super Bowl I can.
I'm sure it was Lloyd, but I actually like waking up every Sunday. Dad, can I watch? Like, yeah, when I was 6. And that's why I feel like I'm a spoiled fan. Y'all saw what I said. What's up? Loke in the chat. WWW. Loke in the chat. W's in the chat, man. So, I I was fucking I was spoiled, bro. The second year of me being a Steelers fan, they won a Super Bowl. 2-3 years after that, didn't win another one. It was a lot of chances we were supposed to win in between, and then ever since then, I haven't saw a Super Bowl. So,
shit, for me, it's been
legendary quarterback.
But we about to get into it. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Yes, Sirski, WWW. Hey, you trying to hop on Fortnite? You want to run a squad? I know you be on COD. We can run squads. Me and him, me and Guap suck this Call of Duty, bro. Yeah. You trying to hop on trios? Download that shit while I reacted. We can hop on. We go hop on the trios right after this.
That's something I can't see myself. Like, no matter how hard I try, I don't think I can get better at that shit.
We just gonna have to. I'm down for whatever. Bet that. Nigga, I've been trying to call you, bro. I got it. I talked to what you call it. He said, you know him as Tater. I want little bro to be part of our little group, bro. He seemed motivated. All them other little niggas wasn't talking and shit. He the only one carrying the chat. So I called him on Discord and chopped it up with him earlier, bro. Gave him some advice and shit, and he seemed like, he feel me. So he our first member in our group. I feel like, bro. I don't know if you agree. You know him more than me, but bro seemed cool, bro. I just don't want anybody. They gotta match our energy, and he seemed like he really down. Yeah, I worked a little, bro. I've been told him. Yeah, he told me he worked with you. Yep. So I let him know.
X.
But boom, like I said, worst NFL quarterbacks of every season of the 2000s.
The 2000s were filled with legendary quarterbacks. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. We used to watch gods on Sunday.
Swear to God, and I'm sorry, like I always tell my chat, yeah, y'all see the title of the original video. If y'all want to watch that shit, watch that shit. I'm going to talk over it, so that's what I do. I'm a #1 yapper. Let me know on Discord when you want me to hop in. All right, bet. But bro, like, I can't say it now because we don't know what, like, these young niggas, like, what their career gonna turn out to. But I grew up on the Mannings, the Bradys, the Breezes. It was like, nigga, it was so many Hall of Fame quarterbacks in this era, bro.
Nah, we had a goated quarterback era for real, bro.
Like they said, now he kind of overdid it, talking about we was watching gods and all that. But we was watching Hall of Fame quarterbacks everywhere.
For every elite signal caller, there was also a quarterback who completely fell apart. From high-profile busts to veterans who had no business starting, this decade also gave us some of the worst quarterback performances in NFL history. These are the worst quarterbacks in each season from 2000 to 2009. 2000, Akili Smith. By the time the 2000 NFL season rolled around, Akili Smith was already teetering on the edge of full-blown bust status. The number 3 overall pick in the 1999 NFL Draft, Smith was supposed to be the franchise quarterback the Cincinnati Bengals desperately needed. Instead, he delivered an unforgettably horrible season that effectively ended his NFL career. Smith started 11 games for the Bengals in 2000, and it quickly became clear that he was not going to rebound from his awful rookie season.
What the fuck? I know the league changed. What the fuck? Bengals were sponsored by Puma?
Damn.
What the fuck? The NFL was a weird. That the sponsors wasn't hitting yet. Cause what the hell?
It ain't no Puma had they hands
I know
in it.
Reebok. That's
They
his
was
oldest shit I remember was Reebok.
Yeah.
I remember the Reebok era.
And
That
around that
Puma
time, that
is
shit was
crazy.
popping, too.
Niggas was wearing Puma cleats. What's a Puma football cleat look like? I've never even saw a Puma. Hold on, chat.
Bro, I didn't even know there was a Puma at all for this shit, bro. Like, maybe the teams, like, had their own little endorsements or some shit like that, bro. I know for soccer, they for sure got them, but football, I ain't never seen a football, please.
Oh shit. That wasn't what they was wearing back then though. They had them niggas wearing kicker shoes, bro.
That was shit you see.
Nah,
like,
this
played
soccer.
against
Yeah, no,
who?
this is soccer. I was about to say, because I know that little flap is soccer.
Yeah, nah.
What was they wearing? I mean, they not that bad. In reality, they just look like Under Armour cleats. But just
Them neon ones don't look bad.
see, these are all soccer cleats, bro.
Yeah, because, like, bro, Puma, like,
It probably was just a
originally,
jersey.
like,
It's probably just a jersey. Had to be. That's crazy.
His numbers were shockingly bad.
Yeah,
A 44% completion percentage, which was dead last among qualifying quarterbacks. 3 passing touchdowns.
Oh my God, he's 3 the whole year. Fuck. Ooh, how many picks? Yeah, that's what we gotta see.
To 6 interceptions, a passer rating of 52.8, and a 2-9 record
Yeah, I
as
was
a
about to
starter.
say, it's no way he won that with 3 touchdowns. I was about to say they didn't do a lot of winning. They only had 11 games.
2.8.
That's crazy. That show you. And in 1999, they only played 11 game season, bro. Now they about to go to 17, and
Yeah,
I heard they,
damn.
but in a few years, they about to try to boost it to 18, and I ain't gonna lie, how I feel about that is, that's why we get so many injuries, bro. They trying to make these niggas play longer, bro. Like, these niggas are not getting breaks, let alone niggas that play the Super Bowl, like the Eagles, niggas that's playing in the playoffs. They're only getting a couple month break, and then they're going into minicamp, bro. Niggas aren't getting a chance to rest their body, bro. That's why we seeing so much more injuries, bro.
They do go straight down.
According to one of his former offensive coordinators, Smith wasn't exactly a football genius, nor was he much of a worker.
So.
He scored a 16 out of 50 on his first Wonderlic attempt, and was allergic to watching film and studying playbooks. The Bengals' offense was completely unwatchable under his leadership. So bad, they were shut out in 3 of his first 6 starts.
Wow.
And by the end of the year, Cincinnati had seen enough, and Smith was benched for Scott Mitchell, who was actually somehow even worse. Akili Smith finished his entire career with 5 touchdown passes, 13 interceptions, and a 3-14 record. One of the worst stat lines ever for a top 3 draft pick. And perhaps the worst part of the entire Akili Smith saga, the fact that the Bengals could have traded the 3rd overall pick in 1999 for...
Look, I already know what they about to... I've not watched this video, you guys, but I've not watched this video. Watch the team, watch the player that they could have had is about to be a legendary-ass player. Watch.
The entire New Orleans...
Them niggas could have had fucking Ricky Williams, bro. Niggas got a quarterback that only threw 6 touchdowns in his whole career. That's nigga. If a nigga throws 6 touchdowns in a season, that's bad. This nigga threw 6 touchdowns in his whole NFL career. That's and threw 13 picks.
The 3-14 record, bro. That nigga probably, ooh man. Yeah,
6 and 3. He literally threw more double. Yeah. I'm sorry, Keely. We bring you to the right, nigga. I've never heard that name in my life, but I know you now, nigga. You're bad.
You never knew the Bengals had a starting black
Orleans
quarterback.
Saints
like that.
draft so that the Saints could move up to...
We gotta do the story on this. It's crazy. You know the story about this?
Yeah, hell yeah.
About what they did for him?
Bro, and
They traded their whole draft for him.
I do remember you telling
They
me
traded
like
every
this before,
single
bro.
pick that they had for him.
Damn, so how time?
And it was so crazy. Ricky Williams, like, of course, what his hype was in Texas and all that, and what we know him, but like when he played for them, he didn't play good. He actually started playing good afterwards. Like the Ricky, how we know him is when he left.
So them niggas out of the whole draft only got him.
Yeah, they traded everything before the number 1 pick because they knew he was gonna be the number 1 pick. That's like one of them like drafts where you know the number 1 pick is. That's like a couple years ago. You know how everybody knew Caleb Williams was on.
Yeah, no.
That's like what's the team that was behind them? Any team. That's like the Commanders want Caleb Williams so bad. They traded their whole draft just so they could get Caleb Williams. Like that's what did happen. And that shows you how they try to play running backs. Like now, back in the day, you saw what they was willing to do for a good running back.
Bro,
shit was different.
The running backs these days, bro.
Saquon, I feel like Saquon is bringing back relevancy to him finally.
No, God, like him and CMC definitely.
And what you call it too, that was big for the running backs. Ashton Genty to get all that money, his first rookie contract.
How much he get?
Hey Siri, what's Ashton? Hey Siri, what is Ashton Genty's contract? I didn't even want that one to talk. My phone. Hey Siri, what is Ashton Genty's contract? Motherfucker still listening. Facebook. All right. Okay, edit this.
I just seen like a little video, bro. Like I don't know what the fuck he was doing. It was like he was doing some front flips or some shit in front of the kids and shit.
I'm trying to think how when we bring on there. I'm trying to think how we gonna be able to listen to him and you gonna join the Discord. Okay, I know how. I would join it. He would join the Discord. You wouldn't have to. I'm gonna have him playing through the thing so you can hear him too.
No, God, because we right here type shit. I'm gonna be able to
hear anything. You got a guaranteed $35 million. And he got 22 million at the start, signing bonus. And he signed, he had 26. Not just like this for running back. So now, because you know how it is with the market, it sets the market. So him getting paid now, like the way the thing is, now that market is there now. You can't go. So now any other running back negotiating, it can't be under that. That's what their agents gonna say. Ashton Genty got big. So now they're only gonna get paid more. So that was a big thing for him.
The lowest ass I want is like 50 million type shit, bro. Anything.
He already signed an extension. No, you gotta be his contract now. He just signed an extension already.
Oh, okay.
The Eagles gave him an extension, I think.
They gave him what the fuck he was looking. That's the shit I hate about the job, man.
To draft Ricky Williams. Idiotically, they turned it down to select a jabroni who didn't even belong in the league. But of course, I can't leave this year behind without mentioning the great.
Why do you look like Tom Brady?
You do look like Brady in the face.
I think this is that the one nigga? I think this is Leaf. Ain't that Ryan, the one Leaf dude?
Ryan Leaf. His.
Ryan Leaf. I told you I'm a football, and then I just know names and shit. I knew that was Ryan Leaf. That's Joey Porter. I heard about him. He was a bust. That's like one of the biggest, like one of the first busts. I think they about getting into it.
NFL career was already a disaster heading into 2000. But like Akili Smith, this was the year he officially cemented himself as one of the biggest busts in league history. After missing all of 1999 due to his shoulder injury, Leaf returned to start 9 games for the San Diego Chargers in 2000. And to say he struggled would be an understatement. 50% completion, 11 touchdowns to 18 interceptions, a passer rating of 56.
So right now, let's make this shit fun. Let's make this shit fun, Dad. Let's make this shit fun. Let's go right here. So we had 3 minutes, right? So you know how to get back. Let's go back to the Keys real quick. So right now, nobody's saying we about to see who's actually the worst. All right, I'm gonna write this down. Ryan Leaf still played better than Akili. So right now, Akili is still the worst.
Yeah, he for sure.
I don't know if anybody. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if anybody can beat that. 3 touchdowns in 1 year is crazy.
Like
46,
44%. Man,
so yeah, 52. 8. So this is Akili. We keeping track, y'all. Let's go back to 3 minutes. Leaf was bad, but he is still not as bad. So
Leafs attitude problems, lack of work ethic, and terrible record as a starter. Leafs attitude.
God, you damn.
He red as fuck. He was turning purple.
He was crashing out. He knew it.
God damn.
It's the only thing you can do when you playing that bad. You might as well just look like at least you crazy. So
Bro,
at least they
just
can
looking
get.
like, what the fuck?
God, what happened? We gotta get context behind this video. What the fuck was this?
God damn, bro, because his face is all scrunched up. He's looking.
Look at how
God,
bad
bro.
this. You know how this is 2000. You see how bad the camera like quality is. Even with the bad camera quality, I can see the veins in his fucking neck.
Like, bro, his actual face is like damn near purple type.
Look, he got his vein.
man.
Look at that vein right there, right there. This nigga is pissed.
Attitude problems, lack of work
Yeah, attitude problems. They used to say.
Big anger.
ethic, and terrible decision making. Leafs attitude problems.
Got whiplash. Look at this shit, bro.
Lack of work ethic and terrible decision making made him a nightmare for coaches and teammates. He threw 4 interceptions in one game against the 49ers and eventually got benched in favor of Moses Moreno, a name most NFL fans have never even heard of. By the end of 2000, the Chargers released Leaf entirely, eating millions in dead cap.
What? Bro, where was his teammate at? He threw it right to he threw that pick so clean. It looked like I thought the giant nigga would. I was about to say like, what did he do wrong? That was the fucking cornerback.
Hey, that was funny.
He threw a perfect pass to the cornerback, y'all.
By the end of 2000, the Chargers released Leaf.
Where is the bro? Where is a Charger at?
He on God.
Nigga, it's no blue jerk.
There ain't no nigga in sight. That's
Who
on
was
his
he
team.
throwing to?
Entirely.
Yeah, he will have to get investigated after this game. If I'm a head coach, there's no way he's not getting paid for that. This is just that's so bad. That's not inaccuracy. Like that is
That's
literally
like,
I just threw the ball into the face. Like this, you can't even. Oh man, I would love to see when they played that back in the film room. What did he have to say? What is his excuse?
The way he threw that shit, bro.
It's
He
flipped
threw
out.
it with confidence, bro. Like,
look at how he threw it. That's why I'm like, okay, about to.
Never even heard of.
He just knew.
By the end of 2000,
Bro, who the fuck did he throw it to?
the Chargers released Leaf entirely.
Bro, there is nobody in the frame with a dark blue jersey, bro. This is another Giant player right here. All of these niggas are Giants. He can't even say the referee. The referee is a light white. You had a dark jersey on, nigga. That the referee, what like it's nothing around here that was dark navy.
What's he looking at?
And it was already getting beat 14-0.
Shit, that turned
Entirely.
21.
But hey, no matter he played bad, but he's still better than Achilles so far.
Eating millions in dead cap just to get rid of him. While Achilles Smith was statistically worse, Leafs off the field.
Okay. We about to see what that anger happened, because this shit was a real problem. I see. What the fuck did he do? What charge are we about to hear, y'all? Because I did not know about that. We are.
Look like he did it too, whatever the fuck it is, bro.
Field problems and high-profile bust status.
No, don't skip through it. I'm sorry, Chad. What did he go to jail for?
Is that water or
Drugs, burglary, and domestic violence. Oh my god. He's still going to jail in 2020. This nigga is a criminal. This nigga will turn. Fuck. And it's crazy. When they took this picture, they like 2 futurists. Only 1 Hall of Famer in here in this picture.
Make him the even more infamous failure. Real quick,
Damn, hold on. Shout out, Ben. They had fucking Evian in the 2000? What the fuck? Evian, that's a little warm water.
okay, so that is alright. I was wondering what the fuck he had in his hand, bro.
In my head, when I first saw it, I thought this thing was drinking like a margarita. I
I
was like,
thinking
Buzz,
the
it's
same shit,
wild.
bro.
What the fuck?
I was thinking
That
the
shit
same
looked like the
shit.
margarita little bottle. I'm like, what the fuck? This nigga was fried, bro.
I was thinking the
profile
same
bust
shit.
status make him the even more infamous failure. Real quick, if you love this type of content, subscribe so you can always get the videos as soon as they drop. Back to the video. Moving on to 2001, Chris
Nigga, I love your videos, bro. But don't ever just put Ben in this video. I don't care if it is some cut scene. I don't need no confusion of him being in this video at all. Who the fuck is this nigga?
Wanky had already taken an unconventional path to the NFL. After becoming the oldest player ever to win the Heisman Trophy in 2000 as a 28-year-old quarterback for Florida State, he entered the league as a 29-year-old rookie with the Carolina Panthers in 2001 after being taken in the 4th round. The Panthers thought his maturity.
Why does nobody talk about that now? They always want to talk about the old niggas now. Niggas would be old, like 25, old niggas and all like.
Yeah,
I've never. It's no nigga in this era that I've heard of being damn near 30. This nigga was a 29-year-old
years
rookie.
old and you won the Heisman, nigga. You deserve that shit. How many years was you in college for, bro?
How the fuck did that even live that shit?
Maturity and experience would translate into instant success, but as you might be able to guess, they were wrong. Instead, Wanky was Winky, delivering one of the worst quarterback seasons of the decade, leading Carolina to an abysmal 1-15 record, the worst in its franchise's history. Wanky started 15 games in 2001, and while he wasn't dealt the best hand with a weak supporting cast, his performance was absolutely brutal. 54% completion, 11 touchdowns to 19 interceptions, a passer rating of 62, and a 1-14 record as a starter. Ironically enough, his only win came in Week 1 against the Vikings. From there, the Panthers rattled off 15 straight losses, making for one of the most disastrous seasons ever for a rookie quarterback.
And you know, all my football players, you know how it is, bro. After that Week 1, they thinking like step in the right direction, and they never won again. That is crazy. When you win that first game of the season, you feel good, bro. I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, losing, I'm trying to think in my football career, did we ever lose our first game? Because like that's a big, like, losing your first game would be like a,
I don't think
it don't say it all, but that's just not a good.
That's some shit I couldn't even imagine.
But imagine you winning, like, even if a bad season, we might get one. Nigga did not win ever again that season. It's crazy.
Instead of assuming Winky would enter the league and be good right away just because he was old, the Panthers probably should have considered why he only resorted to football after a failed baseball career. Winky put the dagger in his own career during the final game of the season, completing just 15 of 36 passes for 144 yards and 3 interceptions, while receiving an absolute clobbering from the eventual Super Bowl champion Patriots. The Panthers' offense was completely lifeless because their Winky just couldn't perform. Carolina benched him for Rodney Peete in 2002 and moved on to Jake Delhomme shortly after.
I remember Jake Delhomme, though. Jake Delhomme was cool, though. He sent them to, I don't know if he a Hall of Famer or if he could be for real. I don't know about that, but he was a good quarterback. He took them niggas to the Super Bowl.
Wanky remained in the league for a few years as a backup, but was never again viewed as a starting caliber quarterback. While Wanky led the worst team in football, Jon Kitna also had one of the most statistically painful seasons of the decade. The Cincinnati Bengals brought him in to stabilize the quarterback position following the Achilles Smith disaster, but instead he became a turnover machine. 54% completion, 12 touchdowns to 22 interceptions, and a passer rating of 61.1. While Kitna would eventually redeem himself and carve out a 14-year career, including a stretch in Detroit, his 2001 season was easily his worst showing. And speaking of the Lions, by the 2002 NFL season, Detroit was desperate for a franchise quarterback. After years of both mediocrity and boredom following Barry Sanders' retirement, they selected Joey Harrington with the number 3 overall pick in the 2002 draft, hoping he would turn the franchise around. Spoiler alert, he didn't. Instead, he set the tone for what would become one of the most disappointing careers for a highly drafted quarterback in the 2000s. Harrington started 12 games for the Lions in 2002 and struggled mightily. 2,294 yards, 50% completion, 12 touchdowns to 16 interceptions, a passer rating of 59.9, and a 3-9 record as a starter. For a rookie quarterback, growing pains are expected, but Harrington looked like a fish out of water. He struggled with accuracy, frequently missing
That's another one. Who the fuck was he throwing it to?
a record as a starter. For a rookie quarterback, growing pains are expected.
Bro. At least the nigga's right there. But he overthrew the fuck out of him.
But Harrington looked like a
Damn, and that was for them to try to win the game. Nigga, choked. That would have been a game winner. This nigga was choked under pressure, bro. God damn. And it looked like
Damn, they would have won too if he got
and it looked like they was kind of downfield. Nigga was driving them down somehow.
For a rookie
They was on the other side of their 50. And he at home.
quarterback, growing pains are expected, but Harrington looked like a fish out of water. He struggled with accuracy, frequently missing open receivers, and his decision-making was poor, often throwing into tight coverage. His completion rate was the worst in the NFL among qualified passers. His worst stretch came late in the season when he threw 10 picks over a 6-game stretch.
I would be scared too, bro. This is a different type of like defense, like, bro. This time and age, bro, they had some fucking hitters, bro.
But
Like we did too, bro. But man,
they got hitters, but if you made it that far in your career, bro, that's what you signed up and you know, and you train weeks on weeks on weeks to prepare for it. Like that nigga,
bro,
he just
he
didn't follow
looked
through.
scared back there, bro.
Damn, look at Randy Moss. He had the legendary at the bottom of the screen. He had the legendary week that week. 10 receptions, 151 yards. That's what he was doing back then.
That was what the Vikings too.
Detroit lost his final 6 starts, and Harrington's confidence appeared to be completely shot by season's end. To be fair, the Lions didn't give him much help. The offensive line was shaky, and his top receiver was Bill Schrader. Still,
well, I'll give him that then. If he had a bad line, that's probably why he was panicking and shit then. So I can say that. Now, if your line bad, that's fucked up to be a rookie quarterback. They're literally setting you up for fucking failure.
good quarterbacks are supposed to elevate
That's
that.
what happened to Caleb Williams. He was just the most sacked quarterback. That's why they had to get line. This nigga, being a rookie and being the most sacked quarterback in the whole league is a terrible way to come into the league, bro.
But that shit was bad though, bro. Like
Bad teams. And Harrington did precisely the opposite, sinking Detroit. While he remained the Lions starter for several more seasons, his 2002 rookie campaign was a sign of things to come. A quarterback who would never live up to his draft status and ultimately become one of the most forgotten and under-discussed busts of the decade. On to 2003, Cordell Stewart's days as an NFL starter.
He was a Steeler. But he wasn't that bad for us. They probably gonna get into it at. I'm pretty sure he led us to like an AFC championship.
Were numbered. Once an electrifying dual-threat quarterback known as Slash with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Stewart had already begun to fade out of relevance. After losing his...
So, you gotta bear... You give him leniency. He was digressing. That's why he was late in his career and shit. Because with us, he was good as fuck with us.
Starting job in Pittsburgh, he signed with the Chicago Bears, hoping to revive his career. But on account of the fact that he was a Chicago Bears quarterback, he sucked, marking the true end of his run as a viable NFL starter. He put up a completion rate of just 50%, 7 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, a 56.8 passer rating, and a 2-5 record as a starter. Stewart started the season as Chicago's QB1, but his play was so abysmal that he was benched on multiple occasions. Both his completion percentage and passer rating were the worst in the NFL among qualified passers. His most god-awful performance came in the very first game of the season during a 49-7 loss against the 49ers, where he completed just 14 of 34 passes for 95 yards and 3 interceptions. Benched in Week 7 for Chris Chandler, the Bears got the same results from an aging Chandler and ended up reinserting Stewart in Week 12. After a brief return to the lineup, he was benched again in December in favor of Rex Grossman, marking the end of his tenure in Chicago. For a player who finished 4th in MVP voting and led the Steelers to the AFC Championship game just 2 years earlier in 2001, Stewart's rapid decline was shocking. His 2003 campaign was so bad that no team ever gave him another shot as a starter, finishing his career in Baltimore as a backup. a brutal fall from grace. And while Cordell Stewart's 2003 was a complete disaster, shockingly enough, Drew Brees was also dangerously close to being labeled a bust in San Diego. Before becoming the future Hall
So
of
he
Famer
had
we
the
know
worst
today,
season before. That's turned in. That makes his story even crazier. Then I knew he was struggling in San Diego, and that's why they traded him. But I didn't know he was the worst quarterback in the league at one point.
I didn't know they. Yeah, I didn't.
What the hell?
Brees struggled in his early years, and 2003 was his low point. He completed just 58% of his passes, threw 11 touchdowns to 15 interceptions, put up a passer rating of 67.5 and a 2-9 record as a starter. Brees was nowhere near the elite passer we associate with the Saints, but rather an undersized QB struggling with deep throws and turnovers. In Week 10, after a 1-7 start, the Chargers lost faith in Brees and benched him for a 41-year-old Doug Flutie. This prompted San Diego to acquire
Rivers. The story. This is how the Eli shit coming. Eli was drafted, and that's when Rivers got drafted by y'all, the Giants.
Phillip Rivers in 2004, signaling they were ready to move on from Brees entirely. Of course, Brees would later prove everyone wrong in New Orleans, but in 2003, he was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. And in 2004, the Miami Dolphins made a massive mistake when they traded a second-round pick for A.J. Feely. Hoping he could be their quarterback of the future, Feely had shown flashes as a backup with the Philadelphia Eagles, rattling off 4 straight wins as a starter in 2002 while filling in for an injured Donovan McNabb. But when given a chance to be the Dolphins starter, he quickly showed that he was a far cry from a franchise-caliber quarterback. Miami flip-flopped between him and backup Jay Fiedler, but Feely started 8 games, and his performances were downright disastrous. 54% completion, 11 touchdown passes to 15 interceptions, a 61.7 passer rating, and a 3-5 record as a starter. Feely's decision-making was atrocious, and he had a knack for throwing pick sixes at the worst possible times. In fact, he threw 5 pick sixes that season, which was more than any other quarterback. He often looked lost in the pocket.
Oh my god!
What the, bro? Bro, what is this, bro?
Sixes that season, which was more than any other quarterback.
Who touched him, bro? Somebody sexually assaulted him on the sideline, bro.
In fact, it was...
He smacked it. Who was the lineman? Look.
My nigga was in pain.
What did he do, bro? What the fuck was that, bro? Oh my god. What happened to him? Is he a
taking
victim,
unnecessary
bro?
sacks and forcing bad throws into coverage.
Yeah, that
One of his
got happy as hell. He thought he got it touched. That nigga got clean.
pockets, taking unnecessary
The
sacks
ball,
and
he got
forcing
happy.
bad throws into coverage. One of his worst moments came in Week 13 against the Bills, where he threw 3 touchdowns but also 5 interceptions, including a game-sealing pick 6 in the final minutes. By the end of the year, it was obvious Feely was not the answer in Miami, and the Dolphins cut ties with him after just 1 season. The Dolphins quarterback cut ties with him after just 1 season.
Oh
The
my
Dolphins
god!
quarterback
He be going through it, bro.
That nigga is injury, bro.
That nigga's hurt. He gonna let you know.
No,
He's
god
hurt, bro.
damn, bro. That nigga be fucking losing his shit, bro.
carousel continued, and the second-round pick they wasted on him made the failure that much worse. Now, while A.J. Feely was unquestionably the
That low
worst
key
starting
funny.
quarterback in
Nah,
2004,
that's
Eli Manning's rookie year was pretty awful too. The number one overall pick in the 2004 draft, Manning struggled massively in his first season with the Giants, looking surprisingly unprepared for the NFL. He completed only 48% of his passes with 6 touchdowns to 9 picks, a 55.4
Oh my God, this nigga top.
Wow.
I don't believe this shit, Ray.
That's bad.
Eli's the worst on this list now,
Yeah,
bro. He threw the same amount of touchdowns, but threw 3 more picks.
God damn, bro.
Damn, I didn't think Eli ended up winning this list. This was not on my card for tonight. What the fuck? Nigga, 6 TDs.
Damn.
55.
That's when Michael Strahan was still playing with him too.
Passer rating and a 1-6 record as a starter. Manning replaced veteran Kurt Warner midway through the season.
When the fuck did we have him?
I was about to say, did you know about that?
What the fuck?
Huh?
And while the Giants hoped for a spark, Eli looked overwhelmed. His worst game came in Week 14 against the Ravens, where he threw 2 interceptions and managed just 27-14 against the Ravens, where he threw 2 interceptions and managed just 27 passing yards on 18 attempts before being benched. While Eli Manning went on to become a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, his 2004 season was one of the worst performances of the decade. But the rookie campaign for the number 1 pick in the following draft was...
Alex Smith was one?
Alex Smith, damn.
Damn, I was in on. Yeah, some big name niggas, bro. Damn, we got crazy high school.
Yeah, I would definitely wouldn't have thought Drew Brees, Eli, nor maybe Alex Smith,
Yeah, I
but
would
not Drew Brees or Eli.
I wouldn't be like Alex Smith out of all of that list. I would expect him, but still, that's crazy.
Is even worse. You see, the San Francisco 49ers were in desperate need of a franchise quarterback heading into the 2005 draft, and they believed they found their guy when they selected Alex Smith with the number 1 overall pick. Coming out of Utah, Smith was seen as a smart, athletic quarterback with a high football IQ, but in his rookie season, he looked anything but that. Instead, he made the 49ers look like idiots for using the first pick on him, putting up historically awful numbers. A completion percentage of 51, 1 touchdown to 11 interceptions.
Wow, he won. Nobody can beat him, bro.
One touchdown, bro.
Oh my God.
One?
Oh my. Oh fuck. That's Alex probably. He has to win this now, unless a nigga didn't throw any.
You don't throw any. What the fuck we got you out here?
What was his
one?
What was his passer rating?
A 40-point.
Yeah, I bet. Fuck. Yeah,
That's very bad.
nigga might tie it, but Alex here, the washes on this list. Nigga.
8 passer rating.
I don't care if that's not a word. Nigga.
And a 2-5 record as a starter. Yes, you heard that right. 1 touchdown and 11 interceptions. Smith was completely overwhelmed in his first NFL season. He struggled with accuracy, pocket presence, and
Yeah, I was
decision
gonna say,
making. I mean, he struggled with practically everything, really. He didn't play quite enough to qualify, but if he had, his 40.8 passer rating would have been one of the worst of all time. And his 1-11 touchdown to interception ratio is almost unthinkable for a number 1 overall pick. His worst performance came against the Indianapolis Colts in Week 5 when he threw 4 interceptions and lost a fumble in a brutal 28-3 loss. The 49ers offense was completely inept with him under center. In San Francisco,
damn, what the fuck? The league was a weird place. The head coach was wearing fucking suits. What the fuck?
Joe finished 30th in scoring with 14.9 points.
Who the 30th? Who was the other 2 people that was worse than that? Why aren't they on the list?
Per game that season.
Oh,
Of course, Alex Smith's story didn't end in 2005. After years of development, he eventually became a solid starter.
Alex Smith got a Super Bowl. I don't think he got a Super Bowl though. You know what he is? That nigga's peak. He never could go to a Super Bowl, but he was good. He was good for going to NFC championships. He'd go to conference championships.
Nah, for sure.
Even with the Chiefs, like he could not go to Super Bowl, but he
did play for.
he made it to the AFC. He was the quarterback for the Chiefs until Mahomes came and took his job. That was the
Maybe
quarterback.
he might have one.
When
He
Mahomes
was
got
like-
drafted, he set a year. That's why they were saying like sometimes you see like Brady and Mahomes like they didn't start right away. Sometimes it's good for them to sit under,
Yeah.
and he was sitting behind Alex Smith for a whole year in the Chiefs.
Hey, maybe he might have one just because of Mahomes.
And that's what's crazy. His second year, his first year starting, nigga won MVP. Like Mahomes did some crazy
Yeah, that's
shit.
not
You
even
don't
lie.
talk
That's
about that.
undeniable greatness
Like
right
that's
there, bro.
crazy. You're not a rookie, but your first ever time being a starter, running against the ones, you fucking with the MVP.
Yeah, that's saying a lot.
It's crazy as
Bro.
fuck. And I think they won the Super Bowl. Yeah, his first year, bro. The nigga was elite
Yeah.
first year.
and even a three-time Pro Bowler. But in 2005, he looked like an all-time bust. Downright painful to watch and nearly derailing his NFL future in one season. And many 49ers fans were convinced their team had made a massive mistake drafting him over Aaron Rodgers, which it was. Moving on to 2006, just as they had been for most of the century, the Oakland Raiders were in quarterback purgatory. After the disastrous Kerry Collins era, they turned to Andrew Walter, a third-round pick out of Arizona State in 2005, hoping he could develop into a capable starter. But the Raiders should have known Walter against the Vikings. From there, the Panthers rattled off 15 straight losses, making for one of them into a capable starter. But the
all
Raiders
the real football heads about my age remember watching that games and you see like literally the diamond, nigga, on the football.
Raiders should have known Walter would turn in a disaster of a season just based off his name. No quarterback named Andrew Walter would ever end up being good. Sometimes you have to scout the name just as much as the player. Anyway, Walter quickly proved he did not belong as a starting NFL quarterback, completing just 53% of his passes with 3 touchdowns to 13 interceptions,
He
a
almost-
55.8
I low key 13. Even though he didn't throw more than Alex Smith, that's worse though. I mean, he threw 2 more. I mean, it's about the same. He threw 2 more TDs than Alex Smith, but he threw 2 more interceptions than Alex Smith. So it's low key, it's his tie. But I put him over. He had a 55.8. Alex Smith
Yeah,
had a
I was
40.
just about to say that's Dave's
passer
That's
rating
where
and a
it
2-6
is.
record as a starter.
Same record.
Walter was an absolute catastrophe in the pocket.
And
He
played
held
for a
on to
worse
the ball
team,
too
so
long, had zero
he
pocket
played for the
awareness,
49ers,
and was
he
sacked
better. He
46
played for
times,
the Oakland,
an insane
like,
number
you
for
can give
8
him,
starts and 12 total
opinion
games
piece.
played. While the Raiders' offensive line was terrible, Walter's lack of mobility and slow decision-making made it even worse. His 3 touchdown to 13 interception ratio was historically bad, and his 55.8 passer rating was the worst in the league. He frequently misfired on easy throws and failed to generate any meaningful offense. The Raiders finished 2-14, largely because their offense was dead upon arrival under Walter, and that record landed them the first overall pick in the following draft. Walter's worst performance came in Week 8 against the Steelers, when he went 5 of 12 passing for 51 yards and an interception, in what was miraculously a win thanks to 2 pick sixes by the Raiders' defense. It
What the fuck were we doing that game?
That was one of them weird games, bro.
Who the fuck is he?
was one of several games where Oakland's offense failed to score a single touchdown. By the end of the year, the Raiders knew
That's
they
what they
had
had.
seen
What you
enough.
call it on my football head? That's the nigga that was just scored the interception. They had that good ass cornerback though, Namdi Asamoah. That was number 21. That was the nigga that got a pick. I don't know what happened to him, but he was good though.
Walter was benched and washed out of the league after 2008. Meanwhile, the Raiders responded by
Oh, forgot about him. Damn, they had 2 back-to-back buses. Yeah, Oakland was bad. They had 2 fucking big buses because he is like,
Yeah.
like growing up, like when you say bus, this was like the first
like
nigga before. Like I think that's when they made that name up. They called like they came with the bust word with him. Jamarcus, I remember that shit. He was the first bus I remember. Oh God.
Nah, yeah, for the shit.
drafting Jamarcus Russell, number 1 overall in
Yeah,
2007,
because he was the number 1 pick.
leading to another legendary quarterback disaster who may or may not have made it onto this list himself. Now back to San Francisco. By 2007, Trent Dilfer was long past his days as a Super Bowl winning quarterback with the Baltimore Ravens. At 35 years old, he
See,
was
this
just
another
supposed
one, bro. We got to give leniency to the people that play early good in their career and like they just faded off type shit. If he won a Super Bowl, he got a little older. Not everybody can be like Brady, bro. Like niggas don't get old. Some niggas just get old and don't get good. Like, bro.
This that Reebok phase we was
Feel me? Yeah, this is when we was. Cause this is 05, 06, I think. This is when I was watching it.
to serve as a backup and mentor to Alex Smith, but a season-ending injury to Alex Smith forced Dilfer back into a starting role. And considering the fact that even in his prime, Dilfer was widely considered the worst quarterback.
He was the quarterback for the Ray Lewis's first ring.
Was that the 02 season or some shit like that? Honestly,
Yeah,
I
or
remember that one.
One of them early 2000s, so Ray's first ring.
Quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl, it should come as no surprise that Dilfer had.
Man, that's crazy. Ray Lewis got the Ravens only Super Bowl. The 2 Super Bowl rings that they have, Ray Lewis has. Like that's why you got it. That's why he got them statues and all that. Like this nigga literally brung all their top tier greatness to that team.
He's definitely like a first.
Absolutely nothing.
When you think of Ravens, you gotta think Ray Lewis. Like that's it.
Nah, for
It's
sure.
nothing. Like what do you do? Like maybe is it Ray Lewis, bro? Ed Reed was good, but you still just think Ray Lewis, bro.
Ray Lewis.
He was there longer.
He was a main leading nigga, bro. Like,
Now, if you had to think that nigga after that, yeah, Ed Reed. But Ray Lewis is just like the gap is so. Not like how good. I'm just saying like what that nigga is to Baltimore is like.
Nah, I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro.
Left in the tank. Completed only 52% of his passes, threw 7 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, put up a passer rating of 55.1 and a 1-5 record as a starter. A complete and utter disaster. His worst game came in Week 4 against the Seahawks, when he threw 2 picks, fumbled twice, and completed just 13 of 33 passes in a 23-3 loss.
That should be looking crazy. Wow. That should be looking crazy when them niggas be throwing everything they got in the throw and that shit just picked off, bro. It looked like he was throwing everything he could throw and got picked off. Sean Alexander didn't have a good game either. That nigga ran the ball 25 times and only got 78. Like that don't sound like 78, not that bad. But you had 25 tries, nigga.
And you ain't break one of them bitches.
I heard it was this thing on Sean Alexander. They said, bro, he had his first few years, like in the NFL, was like greater than some people's whole career. And then he just digressed badly, bro. It was something, bro. Like, but he has like a crazy stat, bro. Sean Alexander got like crazy stat, like touchdowns or something like that. And then like after he digressed, bro, he didn't score ever again, bro. Like
And I ain't even know Todd Gurley shit.
He single-handedly cost the 49ers numerous games that year. San Francisco's offense was completely embarrassing with Dilfer under center, as they were dead last in the league in scoring in 2007. After suffering a concussion in Week 14, Dilfer was benched for Sean Hill and never played in the NFL again. His 07 season ended his 14-year career.
What they on? They was on some freaky shit back in the... Bro, they were on some the big linemen were freaks. What is he doing? Why is he Bro, his finger is in his ass.
Bro,
this is not a tackle.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the linemen were freaks, bro. This is the second time in this one video we have saw a lineman's hand in the ass. I would hate for this nigga to beat that quarterback. That nigga would have been tweaking. That nigga
would have been on the floor beating the fucking ground.
You know the nigga that he's lucky because whoever this nigga is, we don't know.
Oh God, yeah, like
he lucky.
What the fuck, buddy?
Because what were you doing? The niggas around on the team might not know, but a nigga like me, we don't know who's glove and who's doing this to him, bro. That is crazy as fuck, bro.
And it was painfully clear that he should have just retired before the season.
That's where I knew him from. He do talk like an analyst or something, bro.
Even started. Looking ahead to 2008, the Cleveland Browns entered the season with high expectations. largely due to Derek Anderson's breakout Pro Bowl season in 2007, when he somehow threw 29 touchdowns and led the Browns to a 10-6 record. But what followed in 2000,
he took them to the playoffs, the first nigga to take them to the playoffs in a long time, bro.
Nah, that the year they talking about, bro, they got robbed out that shit, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, I think
2008 was one of the worst regression seasons for a quarterback in NFL history. Anderson went from Pro Bowler to toilet bowler in just 1 year, leading to his eventual benching and the Browns' offense completely collapsing. He completed only 50% of his passes, threw 9 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, put up a passer rating of 66.5 and a 3-6 record as a starter. He struggled with decision-making, overthrew open receivers, and regressed in every major statistical category. His completion rate was the worst in the league, and he constantly misfired on routine passes. His worst start came in Week 3 against the Ravens, where he completed just 14 of 30. His worst start came in Week 3 against the Ravens, where he completed.
Yeah, I think it's a hospital bad ball.
Oh my god. He set him up for the. Oh my god.
On routine passes. His worst start came in Week 3 against the Ravens, where he completed just 14 of 37 passes for 125 yards and 3 interceptions in a 28-10 loss. Anderson was so bad that fans were calling.
Look at Willis McGahee. I remember, bro.
For sure.
Somebody fucked him up. Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark killed that nigga on the field, bro. I remember. Hold on. Because we almost on. We got to fly. Hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. It was the AFC Championship. Pretty sure it was a playoff. Come on, man. Yep. AFC Championship. My memory, I be knowing shit, right?
6.
I remember watching this shit.
Yeah, look how long this is because this nigga died on the.
What a hit, ball's out. Recovered by Timmons. Ryan Clark is still down. So too is Willis McGahee, and they say fumble recovery, Pittsburgh.
It was so bad, bro. No, Wes Welker is bad though. We gotta look at Ryan Clark. Nigga, Troy Polamalu did the sign of the cross, bro. That's what you know. You know this is bad. Troy straight did the sign of the cross, bro. That's what you know.
Tom Brady's class until he's played some January, February football.
Well, you don't put anybody in Tom Brady's class.
3rd and 7, over the middle. Polamalu got a hand on it.
And Ryan Clark laid out Wes Welker.
Bro,
When the foot Clark laid
that nigga had to
out Wes
recoup
Welker.
demons out of that hit. He didn't
When
even
the
catch the
football
ball,
was
bro.
blocked in
And Ryan
between-
Clark came out and said that he did that on purpose.
Now Clark's
He said
going
he
to say,
wanted
"No,
to
wait a
end
minute.
up.
I thought the ball was coming.
I
What
think they were
a
talking
shot.
shit, bro. It was talking
Let's see
shit.
how well
I
we
forgot,
can hear
bro.
this.
I forgot what it was. It was something with Welker like saying I'm gonna eat up the middle of the field. He was like, I don't know, something happened. And Clark was like, he sent the message. Y'all young niggas don't know the NFL like that, bro. That's the NFL I grew up on, bro.
Hey, bro, he probably been wanting to catch it because Wes Welker was one of them
Slick
little
Rick, yeah.
motherfuckers.
He's literally
bro.
the first gen Edelman. They talk about Edelman, but Wes Welker was first.
Yeah.
Calling for another
Edelman
all-time
got that
bust,
super
Brady.
damn Brady Quinn, Notre Dame. I forgot about Brady Quinn.
The Browns ran through some terrible quarterbacks in them days. Bro.
Quinn to replace him mid-game.
I love you, Shador. Like I said, I want you to do good every game besides against the Steelers, but you know your history with the game team you play for, nigga. They have never had a good. It don't matter how good they was in college, nigga. Like they done had niggas that were the shit. Nigga, Colt McCoy, Brady Quinn, nigga. So many niggas, Trent Rick, like not even just a quarterback. They just had Heisman winners after win anything, bro. You got to think Cleveland was so bad, so they always even now somehow Even though they got better players, they be so bad they always get the top picks, bro.
Things only got worse as the
I
season
remember
progressed.
Brady Quinn. He was James Laurinaitis' cousin. Remember when we played him in the championship? They were cousins, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, he James Laurinaitis' cousin. Brady Quinn. We beat him in the Tostitos Bowl. That's when we beat him in the
bro.
He played for the Rams.
Anderson was eventually benched for Brady Quinn after
Back-to-back bus.
Week 9, and then Quinn got injured, forcing Anderson back into the lineup in Week 13, only for him to suffer an injury himself that
That's why I
ended
said it's a year that had 3 to 4 quarterbacks.
his
bro.
season. The Browns finished 4-12.
Damn, I remember Romeo. Damn, I remember that coach. That was Romeo's son. I remember him though.
And their offense failed.
When Ben owned him. I told you, bro, the other day when we was on the phone. Ben only lost he only lost to the Browns once, and it was his last game ever when he was leaving the NFL. But that nigga owned the fucking Browns, bro.
And see, he wasn't
Score a touchdown in the final 6 games of the year, a low point even for the Cleveland Browns.
Terrible low point. Oh man, if I'm the coach, I ain't gonna lie. I know I'm fired. This is my last season. We didn't score one time, and it's been 6 games. By the 4th game, I damn near resigned just so they don't fire me. I know I'm not. This shit all falling on me, bro. Like that.
Browns. This season was the beginning of the end for Anderson as a starter.
He did go to the fucking Cardinals. That's crazy. He got hella starteds, bro. He got hella chances to start. He just never could do good because he started for them too.
The Browns moved on from him after the 2009 season, and he bounced around the league as a backup before finally
He did play for the Panthers too. He was the backup with Cam Newton.
retiring
With a
in
young Cam.
2018. His 08 collapse remains one of the most dramatic fall-offs for a Pro Bowl quarterback in NFL history, and makes him one of the most infamous one-year wonders at the position. Since you're still with me, please subscribe to help the channel grow so I can pump out more quality content for you.
Every month, this Airbnb pays me in semi-passive income. Now here's the thing, I don't own it and I...
Was coming. By 2009, it was already clear that Jamarcus Russell was going to go down.
I remember around the time, bro, this is before they, like, all them, he was like, what y'all, this era would say, like, Caleb Williams, like his hype was phenomenal. Like the Raiders knew they was getting him like during the season before. Like they knew, like everybody knew he was gonna be the #1 pick type shit. He was one of them, like the Greg Odens, Caleb one. Like it's certain that you can be the #1 draft pick, and then you got certain #1 draft picks that like they just know this nigga gone. And I think Jeremiah Smith's gonna be one of them. Like even right now, we know whenever he in the draft, he's gonna be the
for sure.
like you got something like he was one of them.
Greg Oden had a terrible story.
Down as one of the biggest draft busts in NFL history. The #1 overall pick in the 2007 draft, taken ahead of Hall of Fame caliber talents like Calvin Johnson, Adrian Peterson, Joe Thomas, Patrick Willis, and Darrell Revis. Russell was expected to become the face of the Oakland Raiders and turn the franchise around. Instead, he became arguably the worst quarterback in NFL history, with his 2009 campaign slamming the door shut on his disastrous career. He completed just 49% of his passes, threw 3 touchdowns and 11 interceptions,
Who is this? Alex Smith, yeah.
put up a passer rating of 50, lost 6 fumbles, and had a record of 2-7 as a starter. All that being said, I'm not even gonna lie, I think Jamarcus Russell had the strongest arm of all time. I'm just gonna let some LSU
He
out.
was an LSU fan. This is when I liked LSU. Yeah, he was a legendary. That's the hype was crazy around him.
Highlights roll and let you be the judge. Still, Russell's lack of effort, poor mechanics, and complete failure to develop as an NFL quarterback were on full display in 2009. His passer rating was one of the lowest ever for a quarterback with at least 9 starts. He was routinely unprepared for games, often missing team meetings, and showing up overweight and out of shape. Raiders coaches even resorted to handing him blank game tapes to test if he was watching
Yeah,
film.
that's the story, bro. They used to give him blank game on purpose and be like, "Did you watch it?" He'll say, "Yeah, nigga, it was nothing on that shit." On God, that's the story that they always talk about. That was him. Jamarcus Russell did that dumbass shit.
Like that, bro.
Nigga was not even like. It's one thing if you bad, bro. Like, yeah, that's when the franchise we're done with you. We gotta because it's one thing being bad, bro. But you're not even trying to get better.
Give a fuck, bro.
You're not even trying to get better, bro. You're not even watching the film to try to correct or do anything, nigga. You're just cool with it.
I wonder how that conversation like played out for real. Like, cause I know he felt dumb as hell once he realized there wasn't nothing on there.
I know that coach felt good as hell setting that up. Like, yeah.
For Russell to return them and claim he had studied the game plan. The main reason he was a bust was because of the fact that he didn't mind being a bust. He didn't care how much of a fool he made of himself as long as the checks cleared. His worst game came in a Week 3 blowout loss to the Broncos, where he completed 12 of 21 passes for 61 yards and 2 picks, finishing with a 22.6 passer rating. It was one of the most pathetic quarterback performances ever seen on an NFL field. By December, the Raiders had seen enough. Head coach Tom Cable benched Russell for Charlie Fry and the legendary Bruce Gradkowski, signaling that Oakland had thrown in the towel on their former #1 overall pick. Russell never played another game thrown in the towel on their former Bruce Gradkowski, signaling that Oakland had thrown in the towel on their former #1 overall pick. Russell never played another game in the NFL, as he was released in the offseason and rightfully never found another.
Cut it off. What the fuck?
When did they release him? After his rookie season?
I got that quick touch now. Shit, always shit.
He made of himself as long as the checks cleared. His worst game came in a Week 3 blowout loss to the Broncos, where he completed 12 of 21 passes for 61 yards and 2 picks, finishing with a 22.6 passer rating. It was one of the most pathetic quarterback performances ever seen on an NFL field. By December, the Raiders had seen enough. Head coach Tom Cable benched Russell for Charlie Fry and the legendary Bruce Gradkowski, signaling that Oakland had thrown in the towel on their former #1 overall pick. Russell never played another game in the NFL, as he was released in the offseason and rightfully never found another job in the league. This season cemented Russell's legacy as arguably the worst draft bust in NFL history. His lack of work ethic, poor attitude, and abysmal play made him a complete failure, and his 2009 season was the final nail in the coffin. 5 Hall of Famers taken in the first 15 picks in 2007, but Al Davis just had to have Jamarcus Russell. If you love NFL mini docs, click this playlist to watch more now, and subscribe for more NFL content.
I'm going dollar for dollar.